Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bearhug Club podcast, coming at you through the Friday Night Raw live stream. Greg here, once again joined by Jace. How you doing, buddy?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Literally just finished work and dived straight into this, so bit tired, but I'm feeling pumped and ready. Garrett will be joining us in a little bit. He himself is running late, but the main focus for this live stream is because it's that most wonderful time of the year again, Jace. It's Royal Rumble this weekend, and following on from when we did our quiz, it's time for us to do our Royal Rumble 2022 predictions. So if you were following the quiz that we did last week, Brogan won, which means he's going in with a 1 point advantage, and he also doesn't have a champion's advantage counting against him if he ties with Garrett. So what we're going to do, we're just going to quickly run through each of our predictions. Because we don't have Oliver, Z, and Scott here, we'll be covering theirs, and we'll let Garrett do his when he shows up later on. Before we get into it, Jace, how easy did you find the predictions this year?
I think the normal matches, like the tag matches, the championship matches, I think I found them quite easy.
Yeah.
It's just the Royal Rumble matches, like, there's no one, I think, like, it's reflected in my predictions for both matches.
Yeah, same.
There's no one I see in WWE right now winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I had the same issue. This is, on the one hand, this makes it quite an exciting Rumble, both of them, because I generally have no idea who's going to win, whereas usually each year I've got at least maybe a handful of people I can firmly point to and say, okay, I think they could potentially win it, if not one specific person. This year, though, for both Rumbles, I've been stuck. I literally just kind of pulled out two names that I thought had a little bit of potential, but I'm not that confident on them. But I think I'm the same as you. When it comes to the other matches on the card, I'm a little bit more confident. And it seems like some of the other guys may have some pretty bold predictions for the rest going forward. But let's kind of dive straight into it then. So I guess we'll work backwards. So we'll do the undercard and then we'll do the Rumbles last. So we'll kick things off with Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Who have you got for this one, Jace?
I've got Edgy Phoenix.
Me too. So I went Edge and Phoenix on that one. Other predictions for that one, Oliver and Scott. Yeah, they both had Edge and Phoenix as well. What was your thought on that one?
Well, I'll just say Z had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Z had Miz and Maurice.
Oh, right. Okay. So I think he's the only one potentially who hasn't picked them.
Yeah, he's the only one who went Miz and Maurice.
Yeah.
My thought behind that is Edge is just on such a tear at the minute. Like, he's had great matches since he came back at the Royal Rumble 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's had great matches with Orton, great matches with Seth, great matches with Roman and Daniel Bryan at last year's WrestleMania. And I think Edge needs to keep that going. And then so he can finally have that, probably not WrestleMania coming, WrestleMania after, he'll have that passing of the torch match. And he'll do what he's an old school wrestler. He does what he should have done. He should go out on his shield.
Yeah.
I think that's what they do, but they need to build him up again for all the people who got into it after he left. And so when he does lose at WrestleMania and retire again, it's earned.
Yeah. No, I can see that. That's a really solid point. I think for me, it's just because, like, if this was a feud where it was like a younger, more up and coming talent that he was going up against, I would have thought maybe he was going to give them the bump on that one. But it's just the Miz and Maurice, like, already an established star, already kind of a big name. Like, he doesn't really need that win over Edge to validate anything. And plus just the fact, like, it's Beth Phoenix's proper return. Like, the other thing she's done in the last few years is obviously, like, Rumble match appearances. She had a solid one. I think was it last year's one she appeared in it, and she ended up with a busted open head, didn't she? Or was that the one before?
Yeah, last year's.
Yeah. So she's done solid stuff like that, but I think this is like a really solid, prominent spot for her if she is sticking around as well. So it'd be a nice, like, way to re-kickstart this
Yes.
new return run.
Yeah, especially if she's coming back on a more permanent basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll
I think
need
she's
to win that first match.
Yeah, because I think she's left the NXT commentary now, hasn't she? I don't think she's on the booth anymore. So everything points to that this isn't just like a one-off thing. I think if, depending on what the Mania plans are, whether they're going to split them up and have them have separate things at Mania, or they're going to keep this couple run, maybe at Mania is when they could like do the deed for somebody else. I mean, I don't know what kind of couple you could do it for, but even so, I just think given it's a return match back, they want to, if this opens the show, kick things off in the right way, I suppose.
Like what I see happening is, I don't know, it's like what I want to see happen at Mania.
Yeah,
contradicts my predictions for the Royal Rumble.
Okay. Well, if it contradicts, we'll maybe save that till we do the Rumble bit then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, not the Rumble match. Not the Rumble matches. Just my other predictions.
Okay, well, we can like circle back to it, just so we're not spoiling anything. So moving on up the card, it's the Raw Women's Championship match. So that's Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. I've picked Becky Lynch for this one, and Oliver and Scott both had. Oliver picked Doudrop, and Scott picked Becky. I feel Oliver picking Doudrop just kind of shows his. He loves wrestling, but he's not like that up to date on the product. He's not like us.
No. Yeah, me and Z also went with Lynch.
Yeah. I think that this will be another, other than Oliver's pick, will be like a clean sweep. Again, nothing against Doudrop. She's a great talent. It's just I just don't see her beating the man. Like Becky's not potentially losing until at least Mania.
No, if she does lose, it's going to be at Mania. But again, like I said in the intro, like I don't know who is going to be. Who is going to be in those matches? Yeah,
I know. It's a hard one to fathom, but yeah, I think it'll just be a nice, easy win for Lynch on this one.
Yeah. Competitive match, but Lynch is going to get the win.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be a perfect thing to elevate Doudrop, and hopefully after this match they just give her back her old name. Because that's the one thing that's really holding her back a bit.
Piper Niven is such a good name.
Yeah.
And Doudrop.
No. Yeah. It's just not great. So I mean, hopefully that'll be the case. So yeah, moving swiftly on from that, it will be the Universal Championship match, which is Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I picked Reigns on this one, and Oliver and Scott both picked Roman on this one as well.
Yeah, so far that's just a clean sweep for Reigns.
Yeah. I don't think anyone sees him dropping it anytime soon. No.
And again, they've been big enough the fact that Rollins has never lost to Reigns.
Yeah.
In like singles competition, they're bigging that up way too much. So Rollins is losing.
Yeah. Even then, like there was a bit of hummer and hawing because I mean, both these world title matches, there's some interesting ways they could go about it. I think because everyone seems to think they're still trying to build to Brock versus Roman at Mania again, and that means I think one of them does have to lose one of the belts. But even so, I mean, spoiler for the next one, I've put Lesnar to win that one, and I don't know if they're maybe still going with that angle or they've got different plans going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of rumors that WWE are thinking about unifying the titles.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
But I can't see them doing it. Not if, like, because they've still got exclusive brands. Like, one brand can't go without a main title.
Yeah.
Although when Lesnar has the belt, they pretty much do. But yeah, it's Seth's on Raw. So if Lesnar was facing a Smackdown superstar, at the Rumble, I could understand maybe they swap them. But you're not going to put both titles on Raw.
No. I mean, the only way they would unify them is if they've got plans to scrap the brand split again.
Yeah.
But I would have thought we would have maybe heard a few rumors are circulating about that, and I've not heard anything to say that they're planning to stop that anytime soon.
No, neither of our. But yeah, Reigns he's on too much of a tear.
Yeah. Plus, it's
no
like,
matter what he does. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's also just the fact like the brand split isn't going anywhere, especially just because of the TV deals they got in place. Like the big thing with Fox having SmackDown is that they want exclusive superstars. So suddenly just merging the brands again, that kind of takes away a bit of its value. Whereas now it's like the reason why Fox is kept happy is because, we get people like Roman Reigns exclusively to our show, or a Charlotte Flair exclusively to our show. So I just don't see them splitting the brand.
Another thing, Reigns, everything Reigns does these days just is. It's like I've said it so many times. This is how he should have been.
Yeah,
always. It just took them 6 years to get to where he should be. But yeah, Reigns is going over.
Yeah, Reigns is going over. I think possibly Mania could be where he finally loses, but again, it's going to depend on who he's facing.
Yeah, but even then, like, do you see anyone on SmackDown or Raw?
Well, again, this is the issue. I know, and this is probably the reason why I've struggled with this Rumble.
Yeah. My prediction for the Rumble when we get to it, purely because I can't see anyone else.
Yeah. Well, moving on, then we'll go into which was the WWE title match, which was Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, a match that people have been wanting since Bobby Lashley came back to WWE. So I'm very excited for this one. I think it's just going to be a pure hoss battle. I've got Lesnar, Oliver's got Lesnar, and so does Scott.
I have Lesnar, and Z has Lashley.
Yes. So I think the thought process on this is, again, spoiler for Garrett's, he picked Lashley, because they both seem to think that Lesnar's going to be in the Rumble match.
Yeah.
And I did have this thought, but the only way I can see Lesnar losing this is if the only thought process I think I'm seeing this is if Reigns costs Lesnar his title, which leads Lesnar winning the Rumble, which leads to Brock versus Roman. But do we really want to see Brock beat Roman at Mania? Because the only thing I can see in that would be Roman beating Brock, and then that just means Reigns is still the champion. You've got no one really set up for him following that.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know.
I'm going to apologise now. Hattie's making a cup of tea.
Ah, hi Hattie.
Greg says hi. She says hi. Another thing, like Lesnar entering the Rumble, do you really see Lesnar pulling double duty?
If it means he's coming out at like number 30 or very late in the Rumble, yeah.
I still don't see it.
Yeah, I mean,
like as much as I've enjoyed Lesnar's work since like he came back and started this feud with Roman, it's still Lesnar.
True.
He's going to go out there, have 10 minutes max, and then get on a plane and go home.
True.
Or get on a bus and go to wherever the Raw is the next night or Monday night.
Yeah. I mean, see, this is my thought process on it. I just don't know if they're going to be continuing the Brock and Roman feud, given that now they've got because they had it obviously leading up until this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And that was about 2 or 3 different matches that they had reigniting that feud. It just seems a bit weird to me to pause it and then just restart it again coming up for Mania when they could have just had another blow-off match here.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't have even minded if they'd hot potato the title.
Yeah.
Like what Sasha and Charlotte did, or Orton and Cena have done.
Yeah.
It's like they're so evenly matched, it comes literally down to who's the better man on the night.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have even minded doing that, and then like they get to a point where they're just like, right, I'm sick of this. One more match, and then we will never wrestle each other again. And I think if Roman had said that, the fans would have cheered him out the building.
Yeah. I mean, I love watching these two wrestle, but I think, again, it's just we've had a lot recently, and then it's just the fact this would be the third Mania that they would be going head to head.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I just think Lesnar will keep the WWE title, and I think they're going to want to keep both of them separate for main events, unless Lesnar. I mean, they've got the big Saudi show coming up, which is going to feature Elimination Chamber. Well, that's
I don't see Lesnar going in the chamber.
So that's the point then. So would he keep the belt?
But that's the thing. Like, I think he'll keep the belt, and then at the Saudi show with the elimination chambers, because even if you have two men's elimination chambers like they used to at pay-per-views, have Roman will defend the Universal title in his chamber. Whoever wins the Rumble goes on to face Reigns, and then the other one is who gets to face Lesnar.
Well, usually now it's one women's and one men's chamber.
Yeah.
So it's going to depend on who wins the Rumble.
Chamber.
It's going to depend on who's
going to allow it.
Yeah, I mean, they've been allowing the matches. It just depends on the women who are willing to go, and they've got to be obviously all covered up for it. So that's the one thing. So I could see them still doing a women's chamber match in Saudi, because just to keep with the trend. Again, it's just going to come down to who wins the Rumble. I'm still happy to stick with Lesnar for my pick, though. I don't think.
Yeah, same.
I don't know if I can really change that.
Lesnar's always the safe bet.
Yeah. Well, moving on, it's the Women's Royal Rumble. We'll do both our winner and we'll do what surprise entrant we've got for this one as well. So that's obviously it's a point for the winner. And we also get a bonus point if we name a correct surprise entrant. I've got Alexa Bliss to win the Rumble, and I also picked her as my surprise return. Oliver has Lita to win the Royal Rumble, and so does Scott. Very surprising. And both them two had Ronda Rousey as a surprise return.
I sort of cheated on this one a bit.
Okay.
I had Asuka to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
And Alexa Bliss as a surprise return.
Okay. Still on my points, eh?
Well, no, I thought Asuka, but I've got her to win. I don't really want it as a surprise return as well for Alexa.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean,
my Alexa's just little.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, you're going over.
You're going over at the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just felt like Bliss was, again, looking at the Women's Rumble, because I had to look at the Wikipedia to see who had been announced already. I was originally going to pick someone like Summer Rae or Kelly Kelly to be my surprise return, just get an easy point until I realized they'd already been announced. So I got quite annoyed at that. But I just thought, well, Alexa Bliss has been on TV for a while, so if she comes back, it is a return, so it counts. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, well, she's been still one of the most prominent women figures they've got. I think when they are bringing her back, she's going to be under repackaged again. I believe they filed a copyright for a character called the Goddess. So that might be what she's going to be going with now. I think now that the Fiend's gone, they'll just kind of pretend that experiment's over. They'll just want to bring her back as something new. And I feel like what better way than have one of your more prominent women stars by having her come back and winning the Rumble. And at least that's a solid opponent for whoever she chooses to go against, whether that's for the against Becky Lynch or that's against Charlotte Flair. Because Charlotte's in this one, isn't she? As the champion.
She's been announced for it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Like, to be fair, do you need the numbers? Like the Women's Royal Rumble is looking really thin.
I'm sure it's basically just like what they did with Lesnar, like in 2020. Like she's put herself in the match. Let me just double check. Yeah, she's in the match. She's in, and because she's already the women's champion, so I think they're going with that angle again. But I mean, that's like a solid way to set up the feud. I mean, if you wanted to swap up brands, just have Alexa dump Charlotte out, and then she goes on to win it. That's a pretty solid way to set up a Mania match.
And there'd be a really shit but good joke in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she comes back in the Rumble, but she's on SmackDown. She turns up on Friday. She's getting interviewed. So what was happening before you left? Like, there's personality change, and I just had a case of the Mondays. Because that is a line I could see Vince writing.
Did you stay up all night thinking of that?
No, it's not even my joke, but I can't remember who said it.
Yeah. So I think so. That's why I went Blair. I think she's a safe choice. I can understand Oliver and Scott picking Lita, given that. I mean, we've not heard if she's coming back for a proper run yet.
She said one more run in her.
There's nothing's been probably announced like via the grapevine, so I don't know if this is just. Then again, like having a prominently twist the face Charlotte kind of points to maybe they're going to be booking to something. So I mean, it's not a bad shout.
The thing with Lita is, I think with the Women's Royal Rumble every year, there's been the right winner.
Yeah, like they haven't followed it yet.
Yeah, Asuka win the first one. It had to be. Becky wins the next one, because that was when she was first coming into being the man. Charlotte wins the next one. Aftermath of that was shit. The fact that they took the NXT title off Rhea Ripley still boils my piss.
Yeah.
And then Bianca last year. It hasn't been a bad one.
No.
Lita winning it. I think like unless she is coming back full time.
Okay, if she comes back and it's like a decent final run, I could understand it. And then I think it's a cool thing because she can still obviously go in the ring. I think she's still in great shape, and I think it's just a cool thing. You're at least giving a Rumble win to someone who basically helped carry the women's division back when they didn't have things like their own Royal Rumble. So I can understand that logic to it as well, just to like have that star power legendary name attached as a winner. But yeah, I don't know. I'd kind of put more money on one of the more modern, one of the more current stars going over rather than.
And I'll also say Z chose Rousey.
Yes,
as his entrant and surprise return.
Not a terrible shout. There's been a lot of rumblings saying that she could be here for the Rumble and that she could be returning soon. If she does, I'm interested what the reaction will be, given that like since she's been gone, a lot of the stories that follow this
product. Yeah,
she's been like shitting on the fans and shitting on the product, not really winning good faith with people. So
I mean, to be fair, like she's going to get booed out of the building.
Yeah, probably. As long as if she comes out as a heel, that's perfect. But yeah,
bring her out as a heel because she was pissed off. Wasn't she pissed off when people were booing her when she was meant to be a face?
Yeah, well, it was
pissed off and
because she was very much when she first came in, people adored her. But then as that run in the undefeated streak kind of went on, people just slowly turned on it, and it didn't help that was when the man took off as well.
Yeah.
So I think towards the end she was a bit of like more leaning on the side of being a heel, but yeah, she wasn't like happy that like when she was meant to be a face, people were booing her.
Yeah, but yeah, she if she does come back, she's getting booed out of the building.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. She's getting booed out of it. She'll get booed out of her boots.
Yeah. So this will be one of the things WWE are thinking it's going to be a huge pop, but it'll probably just go. it'd be like when Lynch returned at SummerSlam last year, but then screwed over Bianca in a couple of seconds, and then all the fans were just like, "What?"
Yeah.
But
like the thing with Rousey, I think if her music first hits, I think people will cheer because it's Ronda Rousey. She's a spectacle.
Yeah.
But then those people who like her will very quickly lose out to the people who don't.
Yeah.
So I think if I was going to the Rumble, I would cheer, but then I realised, oh shit, boo!
We'll see then. I think it's a solid shout that she could be there. Yeah, moving on then. Last match. I will double check Wikipedia just in case we aren't missing it. But I think this should be the last one. Men's Royal Rumble.
I've just seen Oliver's prediction for this.
Yeah. Typical him. So yeah, for Men's Rumble, I just went with AJ Styles, and I'm not confident on that one at all. That was just me looking at Wikipedia names and going, yeah, I could see. I'll explain why in a sec. Oliver has picked Dolph Ziggler because Oliver loves Dolph, and basically every year when it's the Rumble, he says it's going to be Dolph's year. He's been saying that for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And then Scott's gone Big E on that one.
I have gotten. I'll do my surprise return first.
Oh yes, and you do that.
Surprise debut.
Yeah.
I thought a little bit out of the box on this one.
Okay.
So now that the WWE have opened the forbidden door,
Mm-hmm.
having Mickie James, the TNA Knockout Champion, in the Women's Rumble.
Yeah.
I thought, why not someone else from TNA? I went the TNA World Champion, Moose.
Cool. Not bad.
Because he's saying he wants a feud with Reigns. And then my actual person who I think is going to win, because I can't see anyone else facing Reigns at WrestleMania, I went for The Rock.
I mean, if he did come back and he won, I wouldn't even be mad that you got the points. I'd be quite happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be mad. Let me quickly go through my surprise entrance. I just played it safe on this one. I went Pete Dunne. What the hell's Oliver up there? Big Papa Gunf. All right, yeah. So Gunfer.
Is that meant to be Scott Steiner?
No, it's Gunfer. It's Gunfer, I think. And Scott just went. I think Scott went a bit on a safe, jokey one. Was Hornswoggle. So I mean that could be an easy point. I could easily see him showing up for a legend spot. But yeah, like I was saying, like for my, I'm confident Pete Dunne will be in there because it seems like him and Ciampa have been teased for getting called up, and this is probably the easiest way to do it. AJ Styles again. That was just me looking at Wikipedia because, like, the annoying. I mean, I suppose the good thing for this one, but the annoying thing overall, both matches that they've announced 2/3 of the entrance for it, which is a bit kind of takes away a bit of the surprise. But looking through the list of names, that was literally the only one because I could see it as just been a cool little notch on AJ Styles' WWE career, and safe enough name to bank for like a world title match in your main event.
See, I would like to see. Sorry, I would like to see AJ headline a Mania.
Yeah, I think he deserves it.
I mean, the only two things he hasn't done in WWE is the Rumble. Well, there's three things he hasn't done in WWE: Rumble, headline Mania, Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So 3 things he hasn't done.
Yeah. And I
Triple
think
Crown champion. He's a Grand Slam champion. So yeah, I'd love to see him headline WrestleMania. Mr. TNA headline WrestleMania.
Yeah, and again, because he's someone who we've heard for a while will be looking to wind down soon because he is like in his late 40s now, I believe. I think if he is looking to cap off the career, I think it would just be nice to have him. Money in the Bank one, it's not like that big of a deal, but if he has a Rumble and a Mania and that Mania main event spot, then that's like a perfect cap off to like what's been a pretty solid career, you know. There's no chance in hell Dolph Ziggler's winning. Sorry, Oliver.
No,
I'll root for him with you, but like I know for a fact he ain't going nowhere.
If Dolph Ziggler wins the Rumble, I would happily crown Oliver champion.
I've already told Oliver that if Dolph wins, I will eat my hat, and I intend to keep that because I know I won't have to do it.
Yeah.
So
we've already talked about Lesnar winning the Rumble. Oh, I didn't say Aziz. They also went Lesnar and Lesnar.
Yeah. So like I think Z and Garrett have had the same thought because Garrett's picked Lesnar. Yeah, I mean I can understand the reason, but yeah, as we discussed, I just don't know. Just don't think. I just think if it's going to be anyone, again going against my own pick, it might be someone that we just haven't seen announced yet. But I'll stick with Styles. I'm not confident I'm going to get points for that, but I'll stick with Styles. Cool. Well, as well as kind of doing predictions, let's have a general discussion. So, obviously, the big thing coming into the Rumble that was announced is Johnny Knoxville's participation in it. What are your thoughts?
chose him to win.
Yeah, I know. It's strange, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Because I feel like when you've got someone like Knoxville, it's a celebrity involvement where you've actually got someone who will take or is probably willing to do some kind of ridiculous bump. So what do you think? What do you think his involvement will be? What do you think will happen when Knoxville gets into the Rumble match?
I think he'll enter quite early. Maybe not 1 or 2. I think he'll enter maybe 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Come in. Everyone will be laid out for whatever reason. He'll do some mad moonsault or something. Walter's already in the ring, catches him, dumps him out.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because you've got to remember, Johnny Knoxville is in his mid to late 40s.
Yeah, but he's literally
just
filmed another Jackass film and in the footage gets shot out of a cannon. Yeah, but I mean, I think more about any celebrity involvement, he'll take some kind of bump or spot though.
Oh, he'll take some bump, but I don't think WWE would be willing to do too much with him. I don't think Knoxville will either after what happened to Steve-O and Pontius.
Yeah, but I think, because I mean, this is why they've been setting him up with having Sami Zayn. I don't think Sami Zayn will be the kind of rough him up. You know what I mean? Me and Garrett both had the kind of came with the same idea that if they're going to be carrying off the Sami Zayn thing, what will probably happen is Zayn, through some way or another, gets thrown out of the ring, but he isn't eliminated, so maybe just gets thrown through the bottom rope. And when he's on the outside, the countdown will happen, and then that's when the Jackass music will hit, and then Knoxville will come to the ring in a shopping cart being pushed by the rest of the crew, and they'll push that into Sami Zayn for like one spot. But I mean, one of my thoughts I had on it would be if you did some kind of ridiculous Shane McMahon type of spot, like he fell off something really high. You're muted, buddy.
R-Truth does what he did a few years ago and brings a ladder in, tries to climb it, thinking it's money in the bank, and then ladder stays in the ring. Knoxville climbs to the top of it, just takes out everyone.
Yeah, maybe that. I mean, like my thought would be like,
someone pushes the ladder over and he goes out the ring that way. Yeah,
true. I mean, my thought would have been, because again, like, you know, WWE are all about making epic moments. Like, even if both him and Zayn somehow got eliminated, but like kept fighting in some way, and then they just did what they did Mania, go through the crowd. There's like a big structure. They fall off onto wood and crash pads and all that. So maybe something like that.
Just say about Sami Zayn pissing a lot of people off re-signing with WWE.
Yeah. I mean, this is always going to be the issue now. Now you've got AEW. Everyone's going to think, oh, these people are definitely going to go there. But it's like some people are probably happy staying with WWE. And
that's exactly what Sami Zayn said. Like, there's this idea that everyone in WWE is unhappy. It's not the case.
No, not at all.
Some people are, some people not. You get that in any wrestling company or just any job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen it recently. Like, there were people who clearly aren't, even though AEW is built as being greener pastures, there's some people who clearly aren't happy there. The fact that Leo Rush is now leaving. They've got a bunch of contracts coming up soon that probably aren't going to be renewed, and there's probably a bunch of people who are going to be wanting to leave and when they're up anyway. So it's like
Cody's a free agent now, so
yeah.
He'd have renegotiated his contract, so Cody could be a surprise return.
I was going to say, in that vein, do you think we could potentially see an AEW guy show up? Whether that's still under there. Because I think me and Garrett have got a bet going that he's convinced MJF's going to appear in it. No. And I'm like, no.
Unless MJF comes in and helps Edge win against Miz.
Yeah, maybe.
Even though Miz has been nothing but a delight to MJF on the socials.
Yeah.
But what he said, people who try and say MJF is the discount Miz clearly don't know the business. That man is doing great things and will continue to do great things.
Oh yeah. He's
that's coming from the competition.
Yeah, exactly. Like if people say he's like a discount Miz, then they clearly haven't actually watched them on AEW. And there's a big reason why WWE have said that they're interested in signing him, and there's a big reason why he's been hyping that up, because he is a big deal and he's still super young and he'll continue to be a big deal. like
How
like
old
I
is he?
think
Like 24, 25?
yeah, he's like young. He's younger than you and me for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's barely in his mid-20s, and the guy's already like basically a megastar now. He's potentially already going to be like someone we're going to see a lot of. Like when his contract comes up in 2024, I think there will be a legit bidding war for him by then.
Yeah. The only thing is, will WWE still be owned by the McMahons?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, because that was some news that came up as well. WWE have sold to Disney
the network rights.
Plus network rights to Disney Plus for Indonesia, I think it was.
Indonesia, yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a glimpse into the possible future. I mean, for one thing, it potentially shows that like if they're going to sell the network rights in the UK, Disney Plus could be a strong contender, because I think they've been looking into doing that for a while. If not, then possibly BT, but I think they'll go with someone who's already got a streaming service, and we don't get Peacock.
Well, we do. I've got it on, but you get it for free on Sky, but you don't get everything.
Oh, okay.
It's just like
so
some
you get it
Peacock
through
exclusive TV. It's like Peacock original TV shows and.
Oh, so it's like maybe on Now TV you can get Peacock stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Yeah.
Okay. I like. But saying that though, because Now TV is run by Sky, innit? And WWE don't run on there anymore, and I don't know if there'd be bad favor there, given that they gave it to BT instead. So I mean, it's still an interesting look into it for sure, because I mean it shows that like Disney Plus could be a potential buyer if they are looking to sell all of the company.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure I read a few years ago. I read that there's 3 or 4 countries in the world that when a company wants to test a new product, they'll release it in one of these countries first.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Indonesia was one of them.
Right.
But because they've got a very diverse taste in entertainment and like food and what have you. So you get a broader spectrum of people. Like if you release it in the UK, like if you release something in the UK, most people in the UK have similar tastes in stuff, so you're not going to get an accurate data pool. Whereas Indonesia, you'll get a better one. And another one of them is New Zealand. That's that was the first place where McDonald's tried delivery.
Okay.
Just to test the water, see how it does, and then introduce it other places.
Okay, I get what you mean. Yeah.
So it could be Disney's like, right, we'll do this. We'll do it in Indonesia, see how it goes, and then maybe we'll sit down and talk.
Yeah. No.
And then we'll put Kevin Feige in charge of it, because he's in charge of fucking everything.
Yeah. Get that Avengers WWE crossover with him at the helm.
Well, Chris Hemsworth's playing Hulk Hogan in the film.
Yeah, so it's already there. It's already happening.
I would love to see that next year's Royal Rumble, Hulk Hogan's music hits and Chris Hemsworth comes out.
I mean, you got to think WWE. I mean, depending on their involvement with that, WWE will want some kind of tie-in.
Yeah,
like they'll
get Hemsworth to go and promote it on Raw.
Yeah.
Well, I can just imagine him coming out in the Rumble next year
as Hulk
Hogan.
Proper
Hulk Hogan, feather boas, rips his shirt, and then he doesn't get eliminated straight away, but they chuck him through the middle rope. And like he's looking under the ring. Hammer. Or Stormbreaker.
I dig it.
About to happen now.
I dig it. I can see that happening. Well, before we cap that off, then, any other thoughts on the Rumble? Anything else you're excited for about it? Anything else you think might happen? Any other potential surprise debuts you think could happen?
See, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping to get
Well,
some eyes on. Like,
with you
I can
picking
see, like,
Moose, do you think he'll be the only TNA guy, or do you reckon they might have one or two other ones lined up? See, I thought about.
I know they've reached out. I know they've reached out to a few of TNA's women. So I know.
Because the inspiration said no.
The inspiration said no. But it makes you think, like, what, like, they could have. They could have reached out to, because I think the men's roster, they've got the talent there.
Yeah.
But they haven't really for the women.
No.
They're going to have to either include a lot of legends or a lot of NXT.
Which is what they do every year, pretty much. That's kind of the issue with the Women's Rumble. Because, like, I think
if they're willing to bring Mickie James in, bring more of them.
I think they should. I mean, the issue is, I think that they're always going to try and lean on using the talent there that used to work for WWE. So, like Mickie James, obviously, because she used to work there. Moose could be a bit of a long shot. I would have thought I reckon they've tried to appeal to people like Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins and the like, but I don't think they'll do it simply because Zack Ryder especially is making more of a big deal out of himself on the indies than WWE ever was with him in the last few years of his career. Like, him as Matt Cardona, just as himself, has become like a huge independent wrestling star. Just look at his stuff in GCW and Impact for proof of that.
Well, they could reach out to Eric Young. He's in TNA now.
Well, there's William Morrissey or Big Cass, as he would have been in WWE. Yeah. So that's the thing, like, if they did bring one of these people in who are obviously working under different names, would WWE try and get them to use their old WWE name for this one-off appearance, or do you think they'll let them use the name that they're trying to use now?
I don't know. That'd have to be a negotiation between WWE and TNA.
Well, that and the wrestlers that they're wanting to use. Because, like, again, if Zack Ryder agreed to, if Matt Cardona agreed to it, and they were like, okay, but you got to come out as Zack Ryder, I'd tell them to go fuck themselves.
Well, it's like when WWE introduced the Four Horsemen into the Rumble, into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Ric Flair was with TNA. So TNA let him go to do the Hall of Fame, but they got Christian to come back.
Yeah.
For one night.
Yeah.
But they brought him out under the name Christian Cage. So it's a weird thing. It depends what the companies say they can do.
Yeah.
But I think they'd have to, because if you're going to be there for one night, use the name they're using now.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I think that's the thing with Mickie James. That's her name.
Yeah.
Mickie James, no matter where she wrestles, it doesn't matter. Like you said, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona.
I think with that though, it's just because if you're bringing someone from, if you were sending a WWE star over to Impact, then yeah, it wouldn't really matter on the name front, just simply because they've got that smaller audience and the wider wrestling world who will probably know it. It's just because with WWE, you got so many casual people that probably aren't aware of what Matt Cardona's been doing since leaving, that if he did do this one-off appearance and he came out as Matt Cardona, it would just be a bit confusing to those fans, which is why I think WWE would try and get them to try and use their old gimmick for that one night only. But yeah, I guess it depends on the deal they strike out. And that's to say, if they managed to get an Impact name for the men's one, because they've not, there was a bit of a hype around it when they announced James, but yeah, there's just been nothing in the follow-up since. So maybe that is a surprise the saving for.
To say that there's quite a lot of former WWE talent in AEW. Like, who would you like to see of that crop of talent enter the Rumble?
None, because they're all doing so much better in AEW. I mean, I don't know, like who could.
I would like to see Punk.
Honestly, Cody. I just think it would be a fun thing, given that he's not under their contract anymore, for him to show up, and then it's like a big it could potentially show like how much of a bigger deal he is now from when he was with WWE all those years ago.
See, I would like to see Punk.
Not in a million
Not
years.
even to wrestle. Like, he's meant to enter the Rumble. He doesn't. He just sits on the stage and cuts another pipe bomb.
And then leaves through the crowd.
Leaves through the crowd. But you see him, like, but he goes backstage, then comes running back out with Lesnar chasing him, and he's got the WWE title.
It would have to be a cold day in hell for Punk to step foot back in WWE. I mean,
I don't know if the money's right.
If the money's right, I mean, I could potentially see him doing it down the line because he's obviously got his passion back for wrestling. If it was just maybe to do like a Hall of Fame bit or something, because that's usually when people get back in good faith with them. I doubt we'd see him wrestling there again. Other saying that though, did you hear recently that they actually asked Jeff Hardy to go into the Hall of Fame this year, and he said no?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, this just came out. So the guy they literally just released. Fair enough that this release had a bit of background to it, so it wasn't just an out of the blue thing. But yeah, you can understand him saying no. I feel like him. I feel like that Jeff is. I feel like if Jeff's going to go, he'd probably want to do it with Matt together.
Yeah, it'd have to be I love them both, but then obviously Jeff's had a much better singles career in WWE than Matt.
Yeah,
but I don't see either of them having a Hall of Fame worthy career on their own. Yeah, Jeff's a 3-time world champion, but
yeah,
he was always very much a transitional champion.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like his world. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have the nostalgia for it, but his world title runs were never anything to write home about. The only thing that really stood out about them was the feud with Punk, because that was really well done. Yeah, but other than that, it was never like he really made the belt his own, really cemented himself as that big main event champion. He did it a lot better in places like Impact, for example. So I think
Sting had to force the pin in 6 seconds.
So yeah, I think if the Hall of Fame does come up, it'll be him and Mac together, and then at least that way you can have them as the tag team, but then focus on single accomplishments.
The singles careers.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing as well. Like Hall of Fame is coming up. Like any legends you think are gonna pop into the Rumble?
Ooh, that's a good show, actually.
See, there's another AEW star I could see maybe turning up at the Rumble. Billy Gunn. I can't actually see it, but I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know someone's pitting for the ring, but what kind of legend spot do you think we'll see in this? Like, who do you think will have a return?
See, I would like to see a repeat of my favourite legend spot, which was the Jimmy Snuka Roddy Piper.
Obviously, with 2 people who are still alive, though.
Yeah, I know, but I'd like to see the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
2 legends who had a huge rivalry.
Yeah.
Meet again in the Rumble, just for that little bit of
bit of nostalgia pop.
A bit of nostalgia.
Yeah. Who though?
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah, see, I'm just drawing a blank on this one. Oliver had a good shout, thinking like someone like the Hurricane could show up again.
Yeah,
because I think he's still somewhat under their contracts. So for the Kane one, I thought a fun. Both me and Gary twigged this. If they hadn't been sent the Sami Zayn thing with Knoxville, a fun spot would have been to have Knoxville come out and essentially they redo the Drew Carey spot, but this time Kane actually does chokeslam the celebrity guest. And then it's the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee, chokeslamming Johnny Knoxville, you see? Aha.
To be fair, that's probably how they're going to go with it.
Could still happen. So yeah, Kane's not a bad show if you just want to get him to have him have a quick show.
Yeah, Kane's always a safe bet, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
But the thing with Kane is that he was so consistent, he got boring. Do you know what I mean?
I still maintain that Kane is like one of the best characters they ever did. It was just towards the end they robbed a lot of the mystique.
Corporate Kane and
because I think a lot of people always said Kane should have never took his mask off, which I agree to some extent. But even when he did first remove the mask, those first few years without it on, he still built him as an absolute monster. It was only towards the end of his career again when he did. It was when he put the mask back on. I felt like the character went downhill because, for one thing, the mask and the costume they gave him would always look shit. Like, and it still does. You can keep bringing him out as much as you want, but it never looked good. And then, it was because of that I went into like the corporate Kane stuff. The only fun thing around that point of his career was the partnership with Daniel Bryan, which was hilarious.
Team like Kane, which was great.
Because Kane can do funny stuff, like when he wants to, and like fair enough for that's the one exception. But yeah.
But one of my favorite Kane moments, I think he was going to be a 6-man tag, teaming with Hogan and The Rock. And he was like, it doesn't matter if it's one of the millions and millions or one of the Hulkamaniacs or any of the millions of Canaanites.
It was great.
Like,
I remember
that. I love Kane so much.
He used to be brilliant. Honestly, he was still brilliant. I mean, I still love him now. Like, he was legit terrifying to me.
Wrestling, I think.
Oh yeah, and he was legit terrifying to me as a young kid getting into wrestling when he especially was like the full mask and everything. He was legit scary.
Yeah. I was actually I was talking to one of the lads I work with about wrestling. He's not really a fan, but he knows a little bit. And he was saying, Kane, whenever he sees Kane, he always gets him confused with Mick Thompson from Slipknot. I was like, I know where you're coming from, but you're so wrong.
Yeah, I kind of see it. It's one of those things like I understand, but then I also don't.
Is it similar, like kind of mask, but no. I love Mick Thompson, but I love Kane more.
Fair dues. Well, anything else, mate, before we wrap this up?
Should we just quickly go through Darren's predictions?
Yes, because he didn't show up, so we'll quickly rattle through them. So I will roll through them for him. Where you at, Garrett? There you are. So as already mentioned, he's got Edge and Phoenix to win against The Miz and Maurice. He is also going with Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. He's picked Reigns against Rollins. He picked Lashley against Lesnar. He's got Liv Morgan to win the Women's Rumble with... he picked Rousey as well for the surprise entrant. And for the men's, he's gone Lesnar, I think along the same lines as Z, and he also picked Pete Dunne as the surprise return/debut.
Yeah, I think they're all decent. Like, I can't see Liv Morgan winning the Rumble.
Yeah, I think that's wishful thinking. That's a name everyone would want to win, but whether it would happen is another story.
Yeah, considering doesn't she have like between the 4 Rumbles that she's been in, she's got like less than 3 minutes or something in the ring. All of her Rumbles, she's been eliminated really quickly. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully one day, because she is a tremendous talent, but I just don't see it on the cards for this year unless it's like a complete big surprise that they're suddenly going to put a rocket to her. But do
you know what I can see them doing? Because Liv Morgan is white hot at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them doing what they did with Santino, the Del Rio won the Rumble.
Yeah.
So the person who's actually going to win the Rumble is being chucked out, like under the ropes or through the ropes. Liv Morgan eliminates someone, no one else in the ring thinks she's won. She's there celebrating. Then the person comes in. It's the same with when Michaels won it. But the Bull won.
Yeah.
So she's there celebrating, and then, like, for argument's sake, ask her. Bye.
I can see that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll at least give us something cool to do in it. Either way.
Yeah. But what I was going to say earlier in the pod was, I can sit there if they are going to keep Edge and Phoenix together till Mania.
Yeah.
I think like they need to have because they're having the Miz and Maurice now. Who's the next power couple? Rollins and Becky.
Ooh. See, that would be cool to see, but the Edge and Rollins have just had a feud, and then Lynch is going to be going in as champion. Otherwise, that would have been cool. Yeah, I would have liked to see.
That's why I was double guessing me picks, and it'd be like a winner take all match. Like, doesn't matter if Rollins gets pinned, Becky loses the belt.
Yeah. I mean, that could be interesting. But I mean,
but that would
I
have
don't see
to
it happening.
mean Rollins is taking the title.
Yeah. No, that would be interesting. I mean, now that you've mentioned that, I could maybe see it, but I don't know. I think given that again, it's just a bit random to have Edge and Rollins feud for most of last year.
Yeah.
Gap, and then randomly going back to it. I guess we'll see. Hunter and Steph. There you go.
Vince and Linda.
It'd be an absolute mugging.
Montez Ford and Bianca Belair.
There you go. Power couple right there.
Yeah. I'd like to see that match.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the two Street Profits, Ford would be the breakout star out of the two of them anyway, so.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Dawson's, but yeah.
No. Like, both tremendous, but Montez Ford is just something else.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He's like, weirdly, he's like, the way like his moveset and what have you, he's like a more agile Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, like a taller, more agile Kofi Kingston. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think Kofi's spot's going to be?
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't really done one of those in the last couple, I don't think. I think was the last one when he stepped on the pancakes?
No, I think the year after. Oh no, it might have been.
I don't think he had a spot in last year's one, did he?
I don't think he was in last year's. I think he was injured.
Was that when he was injured? Okay.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure the one before that was the pancake thing. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But things like Naomi as well. She always does a spot. But I think they could get Naomi or Bianca Belair to do one simultaneously. They both get chucked out. They're both like walking along the barricade. Then they meet in the middle. Then they start fighting on the barricade. That'd be a good spot.
I still maintain whether it's... Well, I always thought this would be good for Kofi, but whoever wants to do it, if they're going to do like a crazy spot like that, by some crazy way, they end up getting taken out of the ring and took really far into the arena, but the feet still haven't touched the floor. And then they've basically got to like do floor as lava just to get back to the ring.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But it's constantly a live feed of that person.
Yeah. It's just like...
They can't just do it like, right, you stay there for 10 minutes and...
Yeah. It just keeps cutting to like, I don't know, like somehow they end up in the parking lot. Somehow they've been carried by someone all the way at the parking lot, and that's where they've been less in a car, and that's where they've got to start. And you just keep cutting back to like shots of them throughout the Rumble. It's just them like just climbing on the walls, and then like on like one of those packing cases that they use, and then just like doing it like a rowboat kind of thing, just till they eventually get back to the ring. I just think that'd be quite funny.
See, I think it'd be funny if it's like they do get carried out, or they get like they get carried out of the parking lot, and then they haven't been in for like say 15 minutes. Everyone's forgot that they were even in the match, and then they like rappel down from the ceiling, like Mission Impossible style. And they're just like, how?
Well, you get up there. That would be a cool one to see.
Then they show you like goofy highlights of how they did it. Well, it's like sitting on it, like sliding down a banister, but in reverse. Like some shit out of Mary Poppins.
Just go really over the top with it.
You're really over the top. If you're going to go over the top, go the whole hog.
Go the whole hog, for sure. Brilliant. Well, yeah, anything else you want to bring up, mate, or are we good to wrap up there?
No, I think we're good.
Sound. Well, if you want to follow us on the usual socials, Bearhug Club Podcast, Facebook and YouTube, Bearhug Club Pod Instagram, and Bearhug Club Twitter. If you want to check us over the website, bearhugpod.wixsite.com/Bearhug Club Network. Yeah, and everyone, I hope you enjoy the Royal Rumble this weekend, and we'll catch you next week. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.